What's up, guys? It's time to rank the Alien franchise, including the AVP movies, per your request. I'm so looking forward to this. So anyway, let's get started. What's up, guys? It's time for a ranking. I haven't done a ranking in a while, and I'm kind of excited. We're going to do the Alien franchise, but first off, I just want to thank all you guys because, man, it's been a whirlwind week with the Alien content, and you guys didn't disappoint. You showed up in droves. 20,000 on the out of theater, 10,000 on the spoiler free, heading towards 8,000 right now on the spoiler review. You guys are Alien fans, and I love that. That's awesome. And I like making Alien content, and I've never seen the franchise so hot. You know, because I remember Prometheus and Covenant came out, and there was buzz around them, but not to this level. I think a lot of people are excited for this movie. Like I said, going to be divisive. You guys proved me right on that one in the comments. There's some of you that are saying this movie's trash. You hate it. And there's a lot of you that are saying it's your favorite Alien movie. It must be the internet, right? But before we get started, I want to show off a couple of things. And these have been on my display for these videos that I've been doing. But that box set right there is freaking epic, and I got that from the UK. I ordered it from the UK probably 10 years ago, something like that. It is the Blu-ray box set, and the reason I wanted to point that out was because it has so many great documentaries on it. There's like a full-length documentary for every movie, which is awesome, and it's hard to find that now. I'm sure you can find those documentaries on YouTube, but yeah, I throw those in and I watch them all the time. The one for Alien 3 especially is great. Really, really great. But also back there, I got the Aliens and Alien 4Ks, the controversial Aliens one. James Cameron says, deal with it, punks. Okay, you nerds. That's what James Cameron's saying. He didn't give a fuck. But anyway, this might be the wildest Alien ranking, much like my Halloween ranking. I have some wild ranking, guys. I have some weird tastes. So, did I say wild ranking? I have wild ranking, guys. Lady and gentlemen. Okay, yeah, I'm getting shit backwards. But yeah, this is a wild ranking. You know what? Let's just jump right into it. 9 movies, all right? 9 movies, including the AVPs. Let's start off. I know this one by heart. It's going to be AVP. The first one, I was really excited about this movie when it came out. Freddy vs. Jason came out, and I think a lot of franchises were trying to follow suit. A lot of studios were saying, hey, what properties can we throw against each other? Oh, let's do AVP, and let's not make it rated R. That sounds like a great idea, right? I think this movie was kind of a hit when it came out, but it's just bland. And I don't want my Alien and Predator movies to not be bloody, right? And that you know, there's a couple of showdowns in there that are really cool, but also I don't like the Predator having a human sidekick. Number 8 is going to be Alien Resurrection. And I went back and forth on this, you know, right up to the last minute. I was like, do I want this one here? But yeah, I think Alien Resurrection, I'm doing this by entertainment value for these movies, okay? I think that's going to be our baseline here. But Alien Resurrection, I think it's got some really, really fun moments to it. But there's just a weird vibe about this movie. There's always something that feels off. There's potential, but they never follow through with a lot of the aspects that I love, like Michael freaking Wincott. When Michael Wincott showed up in this movie, I was like, oh boy, this could be amazing, because I'm a massive Michael Wincott fan. He's just got that cool voice, and then they freaking kill him off so quick, and there's just a lot of head-scratching moments in this movie. The human alien, I wasn't jiving with that. One thing I do like about this movie, though, well, a couple things. It does look beautiful. I think it's directed beautifully. I like the idea of Ripley not quite being Ripley. She's a clone in this, and she's a lot more unpredictable, but she still has those Ripley-isms about her. I do miss Sigourney Weaver being in the franchise, but, you know, you take what you can get. Number 7 is AVP Requiem, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. There's a movie above this one that I kind of wanted to put AVP-R above because it is so fun to me, and I find it highly underrated. Like, most people don't like this movie for some reason, but when you just look at it for what it is, what it does do that's really cool is it does have a lot of callbacks to both franchises, and I think done in the best way, much like another movie that's going to be on this countdown. I think a lot of complaints about this movie is that they can't see it. You know, it's too dark. But I fixed that. I made my own edit. I do movie edits, and I made a DD fix. That's what I called it, the DD fix. And I brightened it up so now you can see what's going on. And one of the visual effects artists of that movie actually left a comment in my comments for that review. That was the last Alien movie I reviewed before Romulus. And it was really cool. And I pinned it so you can check it out on there. He worked on it. But he said the reason they did that is because they wanted to mask the effects so they look more real. But even when I brightened it up, the effects still look really good. But I do like the younger cast. This is the other Alien movie that has a young cast in it. And they have names that are sort of recognizable, like Dallas, But yeah, I like the characters in this movie. Number 6, Alien 3. I went through all the Alien movies before I watched Romulus. And this was the one that I was, I think, the most excited to jump into, and the prequel movies. But I wanted to give this another watch to see if, because I've always liked it, the assembly cut. But man, I think the behind the scenes of this movie is actually better than the movie itself and more interesting. It's gripping. It's almost like a soap opera. Poor David Fincher and the bullshit that he had to put up with on this movie. He looks so stressed out. And it's heartbreaking almost. But the assembly cut, I think, is a really good version of the movie. But one thing I noticed when I watched it this last time is that damn CGI alien sticks out like a sore thumb. And I don't remember because I didn't have time to watch the theatrical cut this time. But in the assembly cut, you do see a lot of the alien. And most of the time, he's CGI. And it does kind of take you out of the movie. I got to be honest. So I think there's another cut that could be made of the assembly cut. If I did it, I would take out those CGI because there's enough of the alien in the practical to still make it work. And I'm almost tempted to do that, make my own version of Alien 3 because I don't like that. The CGI alien, you want aliens up close, when you film them, when you frame them. You rarely want like a full shot of the alien because then it starts looking less realistic. Okay, number 5, and I'll say from this point on, all these movies are almost 4.5 out of 5. This is the only franchise that has this many movies that are that high. Okay, 4.5 out of 5 from here on out. That's how much I love all these movies. Okay, so starting with Prometheus. Prometheus it's good enough to be number 2, but it's number 5. Isn't that crazy? I always wanted to know what the engineer thing was about. Ever since we saw the first Alien, we see the space jockey sitting in that chair. We've always had that question. What is that? Who is that engineer? Where did he come from? Who's that guy? Imagine the engineer with a black leather jacket riding in on a motorcycle. That would change the whole dynamic of the movie. But I love that Ridley had some more tricks up his sleeve. He wanted to come back to this franchise. They had a different story to tell. And I like the characters in this. I really like Shaw. I thought she was really interesting. But I also like the unknown. This movie constantly keeps you guessing the first time you watch it. How much of the xenomorph DNA are we going to see in this thing? And originally they didn't even want to show the Deacon alien at the end of this movie. I'm glad they did, though. And that's the only time we'll ever see the Deacon in the franchise, unless they do it in a future Alien movie. But man, probably one of the most beautiful movies out of the franchise, too. It is shot gorgeously by Ridley Scott. And the key character of this and another movie in the franchise is David. And I think Michael Fassbender, he did an amazing job as David and the other character that he played, which we'll get to. So let's jump to that movie. Number 4 is Alien Covenant. This is probably the most controversial of my list because every time I bump into somebody, I could bump into a stranger on the street and they'll be like, "Excuse me, I hate Alien Covenant." I don't get it. I love this movie. I just rewatched all the movies before, just like I just said, and Covenant, it's really good. And I think it's just a little bit too ambitious for some people, and maybe it's just some of the choices. They're like, I don't want that in my Alien movie, but this isn't Alien. This is before Alien, and this is the creation of the xenomorph. And you know what? I don't mind the CGI in some of the scenes, especially when like the baby is being born in that that oh shit moment when everybody's getting back because the goo, the guy stepped on the goo and it came up and it went into like all their orifices and whatnot, and some just really creepy body horror stuff in Covenant. And it's the darker movie of the two. And I think it's really great. I love Covenant to death. And I think the dynamic between Walter and David is so interesting in this and kind of leaving it open-ended, even though we all know who it is at the end of the movie. But yeah, I just like the darker feel. And I think Covenant is more of a bridge between that the Prometheus lore and the first Alien. Number 3, Alien freaking Romulus. Oh my God, I still cannot get this movie out of my head. I'm seeing the fever around the interwebs about this movie. People are loving it. People are not liking it too, but I think the people that love it really love it, and that's me. I want to see it again. I saw it only once, and I think I'm going to go see it again next week on like Monday or Tuesday. I am dying to see this movie again. It's so good, and it's been good to me too, to the channel. So thank you, Alien Romulus. You've been really helping out the channel. And I think the big controversial thing about this movie, and I'm not going to spoil anything, is just, I'll say it, fan service. It is a greatest hits movie. But I do think it has some original stuff in it as well. I don't mind a greatest hits Alien movie. It's just honoring what came before in the best way. Because when you watch this movie, you're still watching a different Alien movie, right? The big thing is you have Fede Alvarez directing this. And man, does he know how to get your pulse racing. He's a really great director at creating tension and freaking you out and really surprising you, especially in his third acts, and this is no exception. Number 2, and I'm not going to spend too much time on 2 and 1 because we've talked about these movies ad nauseum, but of course, Aliens. A lot of people put Aliens at number 1 and Alien at number 2 and vice versa. For me, it's got to be Alien is number 1, Aliens is number 2, but really they're both tied. They're pretty much equal. And I think Aliens set the template for what a sequel should do, kicking it up to the next level, really injecting some steroids, and also changing up things about the first movie, even being more of an action movie than just a straight up horror slasher movie in space or creature feature in space. But Aliens, man, it's a meal of a movie. You are full by the end of Aliens. There's so much in this movie, and it is just the ultimate feast. Here's a controversial statement, and I'll ask you guys this too. Do you does the Queen Alien take it up a notch for you? Because I think I prefer your warrior worker aliens over the Queen Alien, honestly. Size, sometimes I guess it doesn't always matter. I like the worker Xenos. So I'd like to know what you guys think in the comments. But let's go to number 1. It's going to be Ridley Scott's classic Alien. It still to this day holds up. Like if Alien came out today, I still think it would have the cultural impact that it did back in '79, almost 50 years ago. It is that exceptional of a movie. And I think the reason we don't see more movies like it is because of how hard it is to make a movie like that. What Ridley Scott was able to pull off and how ambitious he got. I think if any other director did this movie, it would have been a completely different experience. But Ridley took it to the next level. He had a massive vision, and he was able to present that on screen. Giger's amazing artwork. Somehow he was able to make that look three-dimensional. And it's insanity, but it's also scary as fuck. So yeah, that is my ranking for the Alien movies. I want to know your ranking in the comments. Also, I did post on Twitter. Post your rankings. You can see on the screen right now a lot of the different rankings. And, this is a franchise that's all over the place opinions-wise. We all have our favorites, right? Well, I mean, yeah, of course, 1 and 2 are going to be most people's top choices. But still, outside of those 2, it's all over the place. And that's what's cool about this. It's kind of like the Halloween franchise as far as the ranking goes. So thank you guys for participating. I appreciate that. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we review for Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on my socials, Prometheus, Patreon, buy me coffee. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.